Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of the graph editor tutorial for Adobe After Effects CS6. This is Buddy Blackford here, and in this part of the tutorial we're going to be learning about the keyframes and the different types and how they affect the graph editor and how to manipulate the points in the graph editor. So what we have here right now is just a linear rotation, which means the speed doesn't change and it just goes from 0 to 360 at the same velocity. So I'll show you what that looks like real quick, so we have something to compare the other things to. And you can see how it slides at the end, and you can fix that in the graph editor. So the first thing I wanted to do was change the end keyframe to an easy ease keyframe so you can see what it looks like. So I click on that, and then you can see a handle comes out at both the points here, and we'll do a ramp preview so you can see what it looks like. There's no more sliding, for one. You can adjust these handles here by clicking on them when the cursor turns to a black arrow and dragging. So when you have it up here, the graph editor, or the rotation, the rotation will start off faster and then end slower with the easy ease on there. If I move it down here like this, now it's going to be slower here than it was before, and then faster at the end. So watch this. You see how it got really fast at the very end and flipped basically unrealistically. So that's that. If you want to reset back to a linear real quick, you can hold Alt and click on it, or you can go ahead and just click on the linear button while the point is selected. If you want to bring a point back to a point that has a handle on it, a Bezier handle, hold Alt and click on the point, and it'll bring a handle out that you can manipulate if it doesn't already have one. So now I'm going to add a keyframe in the middle somewhere. Right there sounds good, right at the top, and I'll add a keyframe in, and you notice that a keyframe has been added in the graph editor also with handles on the end. If you try to drag a handle, you can see only one will drag at a time. This is kind of weird, so just pay attention a little bit on this. If you hold Alt, you can drag them both at the same time. If you let go, now you can also drag them without holding Alt now. If you hold Alt and try to drag now, it will break the handles, so you can move them on their own. So I'll just repeat that real quick. Dragging when you just created the point or just came into the graph will drag individually. You have to hold Alt and bring up the convert vertex tool here to be able to drag the handles simultaneously with each other in relativity to each other. Now once you have already dragged with Alt and you let go of it, if you hold Alt again, it will break the Bezier. You can click and drag without holding Alt to move them both back again. Now if you click and hold Alt on the middle, it will turn it back into a linear keyframe. That's the shortcut there. So that is the end of part 2, where I showed you how to manipulate the keyframe points in the graph editor, and I showed you how they affected the velocity. I hope you guys learned something from the tutorial, and if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments, and I will try to get back to you and try to help you out in figuring out different solutions, because sometimes when you're working with a graph editor, it just doesn't want to do what you want it to do. So be vigilant and don't give up on it. Just keep working through it and you'll figure it out eventually. If all else fails, you can convert your point to a linear point and just start over again and try to get what you're looking for. So play around with a graph editor, see what different animations do, and become a pro at it, because becoming a pro at the graph editor makes you a much better After Effects artist. So I hope to see you guys in the next tutorial. Have a good one. It's Cinco de Mayo today, so I'll be out celebrating. I will use the Mexican influence there to justify my partying tonight. So I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Have a good one.